If you're looking to sell your home without an agent, here's a step-by-step process on how to do that. I'm Jeremy McCone with the Whistle Realty Group, and today I'm going to tell you how to sell your home without an agent. Now, the first step in the process is to determine your asking price for your home. You can do this by looking at comparable homes that have sold in your neighborhood recently. You can use Realtor, Zillow, Trulia, those type of websites, or you can also look back at the county tax records to look at the prices that homes have sold for. Make sure when you're looking, you're only looking at homes that have sold. Don't look at homes that are pending or active, because we don't know how much those are going to ultimately sell for. So you're looking at bad data. Now, once you've generated that list of homes that are comparable to yours, a good way to do it is to look at homes that have sold within the last 6 months, within a half-a-mile radius, and within 20% of the square footage of your home. If you can't find good comparable homes within those parameters, you can start to expand those parameters out to find a better list of comparables. So you can go up to a mile, up to a year back. Try to stay within that 20% of the square footage though. Now, when you're looking at your home compared to the other homes, look at features that they have in common and also features that are different. If you look at enough comparables, you can start to get a feel for the value that different features add, and you can subtract and add accordingly. Keep in mind that things like solar don't necessarily add value to your home. So if you're looking at a home that doesn't have solar, your home won't necessarily sell for more just because yours has solar. Okay, now that's a whole different video, so I won't go down that rabbit hole. Now, once you've established an asking price, ask yourself how that price is going to look to a buyer. Because if a buyer is looking at your home for a certain price, they're also going to be looking at other homes in the neighborhood at a similar price point. You're going to make sure that your home is compelling to that buyer. So if your home's not compelling, it's not selling. All right, the next step is to take photos of your home. You can do this yourself, but I'd highly recommend hiring a professional photographer and videographer to do the photos for you. The reason why is they're gonna have the proper equipment and software to edit it. And if you try to buy that yourself, it can easily cost thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. Now, make sure when you hire a photographer or videographer, you're hiring one that specializes in real estate photography. And the reason is, homes don't photograph the same as portraits or as weddings. So you want somebody who's a specialist. You're also want to make sure that they can take videos and they can take drone photos as well, because those convey a lot of value when you put them online with your app. Keep in mind that 44% of home buyers find the home that they buy on the internet. And when they're looking on the internet, they're basically looking at photos and then they're deciding which home they want to go see. So having professional level photos of your home is vitally important to getting it sold. So the next step is to put your home on the major websites on the internet for buyers to find it. Now, the MLS is a tool that agents like myself can use to put it on there, and it syndicates to all these major websites automatically. Now, because it's a tool that only agents have access to, you're gonna have to find another way to get your home on those major websites, but I'm sure you can figure that out. Make sure that when you put your home on the internet, in the description, you're including any features or benefits to your home that the photos don't convey. School districts, benefits to location, things of that nature. Most homeowners who are selling their home as a for sale by owner without an agent, they're doing so because they want to save on the commission. Now, you can save on the listing agent's commission by selling your home yourself, but you're still going to want to offer a buyer's agent commission. So you're paying the agent that brings a buyer to the transaction. The reason why you're going to want to offer that is because if you don't, then that agent's going to expect their buyer to pay them out of pocket. A buyer's agent commission is typically 2 to 3%. So what that cost is going to get passed along to you in terms of a lower offer price anyway. Now, if you're trying to work with buyers that don't have an agent, you can do that, but more than likely you're going to be working with investors that are going to lowball you because they're just looking to buy your home and then they're going to sell it after they buy it from you for a profit. Now that your home is on all the major websites, the next step is to host an open house. An open house is a great way to get buyers in the door. Now, when it comes time to host your open house, you're gonna wanna make sure you buy as many open house signs as possible. You can make do with 25 though. Just get 25 open house signs. Make sure you get custom ones, have them professionally made with bright colors so they direct people to your house. Don't get the generic ones, they don't attract as much attention. You won't get as much traffic to your open house. You're also going to make sure that you have a sign put in the front yard so people know you're selling your house. You can have that sign custom made, and then you can have a professional sign company come install that sign in your yard for you. Now, when the day of the open house comes, you're gonna wanna make sure you put out at least 25 open house signs directing people to your house from all the major streets around you. You're also gonna make sure you have the open house catered, or at least have some kind of food and beverage there. That way it's more welcoming, and it's also gonna encourage people to stay in the house longer and give you a better chance to sell it to them. Now, you're also gonna wanna make sure that you promote your open house on the major websites that you're on, Zillow, Realtor, Trulia. You're also gonna wanna make sure that you invite all the neighbors to the open house and tell all the neighbors about it. That way they can refer their friends and family to the open house. A good way to do that is to just old-fashioned knock on their door and tell them about your house. What we agents do is we actually pay for a title company for a service to get the phone numbers for all the people in the area, and then we go and we call them all to tell them about the open house and to ask them who they know that's interested in moving into the area. Keep in mind that between friends, relatives, and neighbors, and people seeing signs in the front yard, that's where 15% of buyers are coming from who ultimately end up buying a home. So you don't want to skip that step in the process. So you're also gonna wanna do a lot of social media advertising. Obviously, the first step is to share the video that the videographer and photographer took and the photos and the listing on your personal social media pages. Now, you're gonna wanna go one step further than that. Also, create a business page. That way you can put some money behind it and boost those posts and do some actual advertising through Instagram and through Facebook. And every time you host an open house, you should be putting that open house on your personal page and on your business page, and you should be putting some ad money behind it to promote it on Facebook and Instagram. Now that your home's on the market, expect your phone to ring a lot. You're gonna get a ton of phone calls. Now, unfortunately, probably over 90% of those phone calls are gonna be agents that are trying to get your listing. Now, a lot of those agents might tell you that they have a buyer, and if they do, great, have them come by and show the house. Just be aware that some of those agents that are coming by that say they have a buyer are coming by just to get in front of you so they can then try to win your listing from you. So you're gonna get a lot of sales calls from this. Now, you're just gonna have to sift through all that to find the buyer that ultimately places an offer. When your home's on the market, what we do is we put our home on the market on a Wednesday, then we don't allow any showings until the open house on Saturday. Now that does a couple things. It allows you to keep your sanity so you're not having to leave the house every 5 minutes for showings during that time. It also brings everybody in at the same time so they see all those people in the open house, and it creates that competitive nature inside everybody. Now, after the open house, you're gonna wanna make sure you reach out to everybody that came through. That's why you should be signing people into your open house and collecting their information. You're gonna reach out to them afterwards and ask them for feedback. Make sure, I know it's your house, but make sure when you get that feedback, you're not getting emotional about it, you're not reacting to it, because you actually want that feedback that's gonna help you sell the house. The most important feedback is the negative feedback, because that's something you can actually change and do something about to make your home more compelling. Now, moving forward after that open house, you're gonna have to take those phone calls and you're gonna have to schedule the showings yourself. So just be aware, you're gonna get a lot of calls, but you're gonna have to take those calls so that some of them are gonna be buyers, and you're gonna have to schedule those showings. You can also use a third-party service to schedule your showings, but that gets a bit pricey. Once you've done the showings, you've done the open houses, and you get those offers, first, expect a lot of people approach a for sale by owner the same way they expect a garage sale. They're gonna expect a deal. So expect to get some low offers. That's okay. Now it's time to negotiate. If you haven't negotiated before, there's no replacement for experience, but you can buy some books to help you learn a little bit about negotiation. And the more you know about the local real estate market in your area, the more that's gonna help you negotiate with a savvy agent or a savvy buyer. Now, once you've come to terms and you've negotiated and you have an offer that you're ready to accept, don't accept that offer until you've read every word of that contract. All right, the contracts are long, and there's a lot of stuff that a savvy agent can put in there that you may miss that can come back to bite you later. In fact, I highly recommend, if you're not using an agent, hire a real estate lawyer to look over your contract for you to make sure you don't leave yourself legally exposed to something that's gonna come back and bite you later. Because something you overlook can end up costing you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars down the road, or even worse, it can leave you legally exposed and it can end up with a lawsuit later. Once you've accepted that offer, that's exciting, now it's time to open escrow. You're gonna have to find an escrow company and a title company. If you need a referral for those, I can help you with that. I can be happy to refer you to a good escrow and a good title company. Now, once you're in escrow, you're gonna have to fill out some disclosures and disclose everything you know about the property. You're also gonna have to make sure you're holding the buyers accountable to the timeline in the contract, okay? Now, When it comes to disclosures, if you haven't done it before, it can be very time consuming, even if you have done it before. So you're gonna wanna make sure you hire a transaction coordinator to prepare the disclosures for you. It's gonna make it a lot easier. They're also gonna help make sure you fill them out correctly so there's no errors or omissions that come back and result in a lawsuit after the fact, because you wanna make sure you're not leaving yourself legally exposed to something. As the transaction comes along, after the buyer does their home inspection, expect to get a request for repairs. Now, that's the second round of negotiation, so be ready to negotiate that as well. They're probably gonna ask for some repairs or some credits. In addition to that, if the buyer's financing the purchase, they're gonna have to have an appraisal done for the lender. So you're gonna have to schedule the appraisal. When the appraiser comes out, you're gonna wanna make sure you're prepared with some comparable properties and a list of benefits and upgrades to help support the price that you've gotten in your contract. After the appraisal comes back, hopefully it comes back at value. If not, you're gonna have some more negotiating to do. Now you're well on your way to getting your home sold. Now, if this sounds like too much for you have some more questions, I'd love to be a resource for you. Just give me a call at 619-971-0791 or drop a comment below and I'll make sure I reply to it. Thank you.